Hey gang, Tony here. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I haven't checked, but I think it's been at least a week since my last video. Been busy. The heat is kind of killing me, and I don't deal well with it. I don't think I get a lot of work done. This video is kind of like a mishmash of a bunch of things, state of the union, so to speak, what's been happening, and what to look forward to, that kind of thing. First of all, my weekend was great. You guys know I'm kind of a private person. I don't normally talk about my personal life really on here, but those of you who are kind of observant may have noticed that I've been talking a lot to Kara, who I will link to in a second. We met up over the weekend. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but Kara did make a video, a vlog sort of thing, which I'm in at times. So somewhere up here there will be a card that you can click on and go direct to her video. You should subscribe to her channel as well. We had a great time. Again, I'm not going to really discuss it because Kara talks about it a lot, but I had fun. And you could tell that I don't talk too much about this stuff, so there you go. Alright, otherwise, my week has consisted of working on the trick-or-treat pops, which are going to be going on sale very soon. I have one to show you. The light in here, as usual, is pretty bad, but this is actually a blood orange variant, so it's darker, a little closer to red than orange. I may make one, or, well, I obviously made one, but I may make another one. There will only be a couple of this sort of color. The other ones are more orange. So anyway, I wanted to show you that one since it's a little different than the others that I make. The sticks are ready to go. I basically just have to keep casting and painting. And this one has no blood spatter, but there will be blood spatter ones as well. There should be about, I want to say about 56, 57 of these available. So that's like 3 times the amount I had last year, but last year they sold out in like an hour or two. So I will give you guys a heads up when these are available. I'll probably tell you like a week in advance, so you can prepare for that. Okay, so that's that. I do have more books on sale in my store, so if you want to grab a hard copy of my novel, I sign them. I'll personalize them if you want. I haven't done that yet on these. I'm sending out the people who ordered them, sending them out today. So if you want to grab a copy, Soundtrack to the End of the World, about zombies, kind of, that I wrote, you can get that at the store, MV Shop. I'll have the link below. And next, I totally forgot about my Ask Me Almost Anything question and answer thing that I started answering the questions for and then never finished. So I'm going to do a few of those because I feel bad I totally forgot about this. I am going to go back. George Lathwell asked me, I already answered his question, but part of his question was if I have ever watched Rick and Morty. At the time I answered it, I had not. I have watched it now, and it's freaking awesome. George, thank you so much for the recommendation. It's really funny, and it's like got horror elements, sort of, sci-fi elements, sort of, and it's dark and twisted, and just, it's great. So, yeah, if you haven't watched Rick and Morty, that's a pretty good show, cartoon. Next up, I believe was, I don't think I answered this one. Kia asked me if what my Scream Queen crush is. I actually had to think about that because I didn't have just an answer at the top of my head. And I came up with Barbara Crampton, who was in Reanimator and From Beyond. You know, I guess that's probably a Scream Queen crush. I'm sure I could come up with lots more if I like looked at a big list of Scream Queens, but I couldn't think of many when I was trying to come up with that. And she's pretty hot. Next up, from Chin People from Planet Vodka, we have a crazy question. If you were a Chin person trapped on an inferior planet of humans, and your Chin wife trapped you in a closet after watching a 70s flick about abusive parents, would you take revenge by releasing a private Chin sex tape on YouTube? And if not, what weapon would you use to murder her? I would probably use a chin knife to murder her. Possibly a chin ray. That was an amazing question. I wish I had a better answer. Symbiotically Geeky asks, How do you motivate yourself to write? Any advice for someone that just can't seem to think of anything to write about? Also, where are the bodies buried? I really hope I'm not answering questions I already answered. These are sounding familiar, and I can't tell if they sound familiar because I read them all already, or because I actually made a video answering these questions already. If that's the case, wow, I suck. But I'm going to answer it anyway. How do I motivate myself to write? It's difficult sometimes. I try not to force myself if I'm really just not feeling it. A lot of people have that mentality that you should have a schedule every day and stick to that schedule no matter what and just force yourself to write. That's probably good advice. I've never been able to do that though. Personally, I need to have a routine, and that routine gets me ready, makes me feel ready for writing. My routine usually it used to consist of a lot of different things like cigarettes and like I'd put a cigarette down on my desk and like I can't have that cigarette until I write 2,000 words, and beer and all that kind of stuff. But these days it's usually a mug of, if I put some good music on that's conducive to writing, and have a mug of coffee ready, and that's really all I do these days. But that's my routine. Have something to drink, usually coffee, maybe a beer if it's really hot, and get some music on, kind of make sure that phones are off, maybe shut the internet, and just get going. That's how I do it. The bodies were not buried, they were burned. Next question from Lilith Morn. If there were no such thing as a horror in the world, like no horror movies or horror genre or books or anything horror related at all, what would you do? Suppose it all horror stuff disappeared or vanished one day. What then? I guess like mass suicide is always an option. I mean, not that I need to take other people with me, but I'm assuming other people would want to just end it all like me, so we'd all get together and maybe like an all-out brutal murder-suicide thing, because I'm not really into like just drinking some Kool-Aid with poison in it. That's a little lame. So like just a battle royale where everyone kind of murders each other. Last man standing. No, not really. That was a joke. It's totally a joke. If there were no horror in the world, I would hope that I would have the supreme genius to invent it and then become the father of horror. That would be amazing. I kind of wish horror didn't exist now so I could do that. If that were not a possibility, I think that should be a possibility. But if it were not, I suppose I would probably just be into the closest cousin, like sibling of horror, which may be like dark fantasy or something, I don't know. Good question though. That's a thinker. Next up, I'll do one more and then maybe close this off. One more from, let's see, we were up to Vixenator's videos. What is the strangest thing you believed as a child? What was the best news you've ever received? Oh, man. The day I found out I was pregnant was probably the best day. No, I wasn't really pregnant. Let's start with the first question. The strangest thing I believed as a child. God existed? I just offended a lot of people there. I'm sorry. No, the real answer, I mean, like, basically all of that kind of, this is a bad answer. I wish I had a better answer, kind of. But pretty much all of that, Santa, the Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, I believed all that stuff. Elves. So, I mean, that's kind of weird. When you really think about it, that's pretty strange to think that they're little tiny people that go and like fill up your stocking with goodies when you don't see it, or like that a fairy comes and like puts money under your pillow. That's mail. I have a package. I'll end it there. I'll go get a package and I'll make another video.